Blessing, blessing, blessing. Welcome to Check In with Mama Wade. Today we're going to have a show. My Instagram is Checking Connection. Today we're going to have a great show. Um, just bear with me for a minute. Okay. All right, I see it. Today we're going to have us a great show. For some reason, my Instagram connection is not coming in today. For some reason, my Instagram is still checking connection. It'll let me know what's going on. But we're going to go ahead and get started. My guest is a very busy man. And I'm honored for first of all, for him being a part of this show today because I know his schedule. And also, I know that the information that's going to be brought here today is going to be beneficial for you. This is Check In with Mama Wade, Better Health, Better Me. You can go to my website, www.jolindawade.com. If you want to send me a message, you feel like you have something that you can add to the show, and I will answer you back. Also, you can go to my YouTube page and be able to watch this show again, Check In with Mama Wade. And while you're there, subscribe, and you'll be able to go over the information again, which I think will be better beneficial for you. Today, we're going to talk about eating well to win, nutritional healing. And like I said, the young man that I'm bringing in, who I call son, is definitely going to be able to help us in our area as far as getting to at least getting a start or getting to a place. And he's loaded with information. So I don't want to hold him too long because I value his time, and I'll be able to speak with you all a little bit after my guests have to go and leave his show. So I'm going to bring him up now. I want to look at his face anyway. So everyone, welcome my guest, Chef Richard Ingram, who I call son. Chef.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for taking this. Isn't he gorgeous? Thank you so much for taking this time out and coming to be a part of Better Health, Better Me. Check In with Mama Wade.
Yes, ma'am.
Chef, first, before we get started, tell the community of people that's followed. Somebody say, I'm excited about today's episode. Tell them some type of something about yourself. Give us a little about yourself.
Well, my name is Richard Ingram. I hail from Miami, Florida. I'm a personal chef, and I've been blessed enough to be the personal chef for the Wade family, the whole entire family, for about 18 years now. And with that, I've been honored and blessed enough to have been able to write a book called Eating Well to Win, which Mama Wade so graciously talked about, and she's holding the book up now. You can get that on Amazon. I've also, along with my business partner, created a company called Chef RLI LLC, which is a personal chef company where we are the conduit between people who are looking for a quality chef and those chefs that are looking for quality clients. And we've had that company now for about 12 years. And up to date, we have about 20 different chefs all over the country cooking for other athletes and entertainers and people who want to have that personal chef service inside of their home.
Amen. And the service, I tell you guys, it's like I said, nutritional healing. It is a healing that your body will receive. I remember when I first met Chef. At that particular time, my issue that I had was with diabetes and overweight and high blood pressure, just a total mess. And I remember I went down to Miami to visit my son, and they said, we're going to send someone over to prepare you something to eat. And this young man came in the door. And what I loved about it, to show the care that any cook or you should have for an individual. He found out what my issue was before he came. And when he came over, he fixed me food that I'm gonna be honest, it was brand new to me, and I didn't know at the time that he was is the food that he was fixing was preparing for me was to heal me. It was going to help me in all of them areas that I shared with you before. But I didn't have no. I really, be honest, I just felt like that was for a moment. I was stuck in the way that I used to eat, as some of us are, and so I didn't keep it. I didn't prolong it. Chef, tell us, what do you do with people? Because I'm quite sure when you got Mr. Wade too, what do you
Yeah.
do with people when you come into their lives and we got these eating habits that's all over the place? It's not really healthy. It's when we don't know about portion, we don't know about
Right.
nutrition, we don't know about balance, we don't know about nothing. What do you do with people like us?
Well, the first thing that you do is you come in, and when people think about eating healthy or they think about changing their diet, automatically you put so many roadblocks in your head because you start thinking about, you know, all of these different things, and you feel that, you know, this guy or this young lady is going to have me eating tree bark and grass or something, you know, to get healthy. So what I do is I come in, and first of all, I want to find out what the problem is. You know, are you suffering from cramps? Do you have you know, high blood pressure? Do you have diabetes? And when we go in with these things, now we find out what it is that you can actually eat, and then I try to find out what it is that you like, because some of the things that you like, you don't necessarily have to take them out of your diet. You may just need to change a couple of ingredients in the things that you like. You know, instead of using salt, we may use citrus like a lemon or a lime zest or fresh herbs, things like that. You know, just to enhance the food and to give you a different perspective on how to eat these things that you like, but to make it better for you. And it's a situation where, as you just spoke about, where consistency is key. We, you know, it's not like taking a pill where it's instantaneous. If you take Tylenol for pain, you know, you take about 5 minutes and then that pain is subsided. When you're using food and healthy drinks and things like that to help your body heal, it it works over time. It's not something that you're going to eat right now. You're going to say, "Oh my goodness, I feel amazing. My you know my blood sugar level is exactly where it needs to be right now." That's not necessarily the case. These are things that have to go on with time. And when you don't have the proper knowledge, or when the food doesn't taste good, let's just be real about it. When the food doesn't taste good, you're not going to stick with it. And one thing that a lot of people do is they jump into it so strenuously from the onset that they don't give their mind and their body an opportunity to catch up to that momentum that they're trying to put forth. So they may take, you know, say for instance, you're trying to do this special diet or this new way of living, this new life plan that you have, as far as what you're putting inside of your body. You're trying to do that consistently for 7 days out of the week. And your body says, you know what, I want a little break. And that break turns into a whole month-long break, you know, instead of just treating yourself. And so we have to learn how to gauge these cravings as well. And in engaging these cravings, you learn to become a little bit more disciplined in your eating habits. And therefore, you're able to gain the knowledge, and your body is able to benefit from this lifestyle change that you're trying to endure.
Amen. That was some powerful information right there. You guys got to agree, because he's right. You know, consistency is key,
Yeah.
and a lot of times, like he said, we want to take a break, and sometimes our break lasts longer than the start of our coming out of the gate toward the better health, better me. And so we get caught up in that particular back. But in other words, we done went back, and now we done got called back up into that place we were at. I remember a time when I was at my son's house, Dwayne Wade, and Chef wasn't there. Oh boy, he wasn't there. And Dwayne had this junk so-called stuff he was hiding from Chef because he was learning how to eat healthy. And so he pulled out, oh my God, it might have been a candy bar. I don't know what that thing was, but when he pulled it out, it excited me. And we thought, okay, listen, we're gonna go ahead and, he's not here today. We're gonna cheat. And so I had a taste for a cheeseburger, diabetic, high blood pressure, all messed up, overweight. And I had a taste for the cheeseburger I'm trying to remember that spot in Miami where everybody used to go to, and the fries. And Dwayne said, we can go ahead and I'll get you that, Mom. That's what you want. Put me in the car. We rode on and got this cheeseburger. Matter of fact, he treated himself. Yes, I'm telling on Mr. Wade right now. He treated himself as well. So the next day when Rich, I call him Rich because he's my son, when the chef showed up, we felt guilty. And I don't know if he saw it in us. He gets quiet. He don't say anything. He'll look at you and smile and everything. I said, oh man, he know. So he's right. Whereas Dwayne was his primary target person at that time. I was leaving, going back to where I live. So I'm taking that behavior back with me. Whereas Dwayne is sitting there with his head down until he get it. And I love the patience that you display as well, Rich, when because you knew. He told us in the end. He said, I know y'all I know about his drawer. He knew every hiding place that Dwayne had in the house. So
that's correct. Yes.
I love that. I love your patience. And is that important when a person is trying to get to that mark? Is it important for them to have patience within themselves as well?
Of course it is. And not just, and I know we're talking about nutrition, but it's in everything. When you're talking about change, just think about when you're trying to work out. When you initially go in to work out, you don't know the equipment. You don't know how many reps you're supposed to do, what your body can take. But it takes the patience for you to, and the consistency for you to continue to go back. Be patient with yourself. So what, you may not be able to lift the 30-pound dumbbell, but you start at the 5. And then, by next week, then hopefully you're at the 10-pound weight. And then you continue to go and you continue to go and build and build and build until you get to that 30-pound weight. It's just like having a gift. Sometimes when we get things instantaneously, we don't appreciate it. But when we have to work for something, when we have to work for something, think about when you are trying to lose weight and you're in the shower and you get out of the shower and you're looking at yourself and you're drying off. You say, oh my goodness, you turn yourself to the side and you see a little something going on here, or you see a little something here and you say, oh man, I got to do something. And you start that journey. You start drinking more water. You start taking the sweets out of your diet. If you drink alcohol, you stop drinking your alcohol, or you start to ration your portion sizes. And instead of eating so much red meat, you eat more fish now. You eat more chicken breast, or even you stray away from meat altogether. You go straight into eating more vegetables. Now you start doing that, and you start working out. You start walking, moving your body. The next thing you know, you get out of that shower and you see your body changing. And what that does is it motivates you, but it's the patience that you have to be able to see those results. And once you see those results, then it kicks in and you kick into overdrive at that particular point in time. So it is very important to have patience with yourself. Don't beat yourself up because you decide, you know what, today is Saturday. I've been good all week long. I've worked out. I've been drinking my gallon of water every single day. You know what? Today I feel like having some pancakes with syrup and some good old butter. you know what? I'm going to have that for breakfast this Saturday. It is absolutely positively nothing wrong with doing that. But how about this? Instead of just having straight pancakes, what you can do is instead of using white flour, now you can use maybe some almond flour. You can add in a little bit of protein powder into your pancakes. You can add a little bit of oatmeal into your pancakes, raw oatmeal. It comes out just as perfect, you know. And instead of using sugar, you may want to grind up a banana and put in there because of the sugar content, or maybe even a little applesauce. And this is what I'm talking about. You find different ways to eat the things that you want to eat, still be healthy, but still feed that craving that you have for these different things. And now you don't feel guilty about it. And that's the main thing that we get into, is that we feel guilty after we eat these things. But if we learn how to eat better, then that takes care of the guilt, but you're still eating some of these same things that you like, you know, and then you can see yourself prosper in your goals.
Amen. And you know what? When you blessed me with the book, Eating Well to Win, this book really, when I opened it up and I saw all, well, I know how you can cook, but this here blew my mind because this was on a whole nother level for me to see these dishes, these meals that was prepared in here in this book. And the meals, guys, that's in the book, if you don't have it, you really need to go and get it. The meals that's in the book, it stops you from getting to the place, like he said, of boring. Because, you know, food, you know, you constantly eat the same thing over again. You get bored with it. And then, like he said, you think, oh, man, I got to eat salad. I got to do this and that. No, 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 no. This book here, oh, my God, herb roasted veal chopped with faro roasted broccoli and herb garlic butter. My God, come on now. I can eat this. You know, it excites you. It makes you, but it's all about, as the title say, eating well to win. And I
Right.
notice you keep saying sugar. You know, sugar. Why should we be cautious of sugar?
Well, you should be cautious of sugar because it's one of the most addictive things on planet Earth. It's right up there with crack cocaine. It's right up there with your heroin, with all of these different drugs. That's exactly what it is. It is a drug, and you know, if you eliminate sugar from your diet, it takes down your blood sugar level. It helps you as far as your weight is concerned. It helps with tooth decay. All of these different things that you may be going through, if you just take sugar out of your diet, and it is very hard to do. And I'm not sitting here as someone that doesn't eat sugar. I'm a pastry chef at heart, so I love to eat cakes, candies, different things like that. But I know what to do to counteract that. Those little treats that I do, you know, I know how to fool myself sometimes into saying, you know what, I'm going to eat this cookie tonight. But you know what that means? That means now I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning since I have to be to work at 5. I need to get up at 3 in the morning and hit that treadmill for 2 miles to burn all of that off of what I ate. And I don't use my exercise as a punishment. I use it as a motivation tool, you know, for me to be able to go through the rest of my day. And I look at it this way: if I get up that early to start to exercise while other people are asleep, it gives me the feeling that I've won for the day because people are sleeping while I'm up doing what I need to do. And it energizes me to get myself ready for the day. But to answer your question, sugar is it is not the best thing for you at all. And even these sugar substitutes, is they're not good at all. They're chemically made, so you're putting chemicals in your body. If you're going to do a sugar substitute, you might as well just go ahead and have that sugar, in my opinion. But you have to make sure that you limit your sugar intake. Excuse me. You have to make sure that you do that. And then even if we get into that, we start talking about alcohol. Alcohol gives you calories, but they're empty calories.
Mm,
And with those empty calories, it is doing absolutely positively nothing for your body. You know, it may make you feel good for the moment, but it is doing nothing for your body, and it stores right around in this area. When you start talking about sugars, you talk about carbohydrates as well. There are different carbs that are good for you, different carbs that are bad for you.
okay.
You want to put elongated carbohydrates inside of your body, like oatmeal, for instance, a great food to have for breakfast in the morning. And the reason for that is because it is time release. It releases the energy into your body throughout the whole entire day, as opposed to having a big bowl of frosted flakes or Fruit Loops or something like that, where you have that instantaneous high or that sugar rush, and then
Mm.
you crash and burn later on. When I was an educator at the high school level, I would see quite often my students come in and they're so hyped up for first period, but by homeroom and second period, they got their heads on the table because they've eaten all of that sugary food first thing in the morning, and they are bouncing off of the walls when they come in. And then they
Okay, I don't know what have happened. Briefly he'll come back on. Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. Okay. I can't hear you. The sound is gone. I see you, but I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. No. Wow, that was
yeah,
great. There you
there
go.
we are. Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm back. So what I was saying was that what were we talking about? The sugar?
Yeah, the sugar. And you're talking about the
Okay,
children.
so when I was teaching, we would find that the children would taper off as the day went on because they didn't have those elongated carbohydrates in the body to keep them going. Therefore, when we would take these standardized tests, and I know I'm all over the place here, Mama, but when the children would take these standardized tests, this is the reason why they wouldn't do well at all, was
Mm,
because they could not focus because they didn't have the brain food in order to focus. And it's the same thing that happens with us at work. We get to work and we're good for that first 10, 15 minutes, and you're sitting behind that computer at a 9 to 5. Next thing you know, you're dozing off, or you're not as focused. Any little thing can take you out of whack. Whereas if you're eating properly in the morning and you're giving yourself a nice breakfast in the morning, that includes some form of a fruit, some great grains, in the morning, it helps you throughout the rest of your day. And then when you go through and you have a lunch and you have a lunch that has good protein, some form of a vegetable, some type of a carb, maybe not a whole lot of it, depending on what you're trying to do with your body, that takes you through to dinner. And then for your dinner, if you have a real nice balanced meal, then that takes you all the way through. So each meal builds upon the next meal. And so
mm,
this is the reason why you have to make sure that you're putting the right things inside of your body so that you can perform at a high level and so that you're actually eating well to win. And this isn't just for the basketball player, for the athlete. It's for the teacher that's standing up in front of a class all day. It's for the young man or the young lady that has to talk at a meeting in front of the boardroom. It's for the surgeon that's performing the surgery on you for 8 hours. You need them to be cognizant of what they're doing and not falling asleep or being lethargic while they're working on you. So these recipes and this form of eating is beneficial to everybody, not just athletes.
hey man, that's great. That's letting us know that it's even for like some people, some of us call it the common person, the person that's not really that too much involved in how we prepare our meal. And preparation is so important. I really learned that as I had a made up mind that I wanted to eat well to win. I wanted to live. So um, I learned the chemistry of my plate.
Yes.
When um, actually it was this particular Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is my son's day. That's his day, and chef prepared food for everyone that was there, and he would ask, "Is Mama gonna be here?" And they would say yes. So he have something that's specifically prepared for me as well. But I watched you on the not the last one, the one before that, how you watched me prepare my plate, and I was so in tune to um, the carb, the protein, the fat, the fiber, the things that I needed on the plate, and I was able to eat and sit and enjoy just like everybody else at the
Yes.
table. My daughter, now he don't let me mess with the sweet potatoes. Or if he do, he'll look at me and I say, okay, well, what about
We'll
this?
get a. We'll just get a
You
little
need
bit.
that.
We
Sometimes
get
you
a
need
little
that. You need
taste.
somebody that's there, you know what I'm saying, that will help to keep you. You know,
Right.
it's like we're a family here. We're trying to go to the same place. We're trying to be our better. We're trying to get our better health. We're trying to carry each other along, and he helped carry me because all I do. A matter of fact, he got to the point at the last Thanksgiving, he didn't have to look at me. I just went on and I fixed the plate and I sat there and I enjoyed it with everybody else. I ate good. I ate good. And you can eat good as well. All you have to do is just have a made up mind. Know that, as my son said at the beginning, that the mind, the spirit, and the body, they all work together. And
In
all you have to
conjunction.
do is have a made up mind and understand that, hey, and have that goal in your head. I turned to the side and oh my God, I done lost this weight. And it encourage you, it builds you up, it builds you up. A friend of mine was like, okay, don't get on the scale all the time because now you're too
That's
scared.
right.
So she told me, she said, well, just get on there, pick your day of the week. So I usually pick Monday, and I did. I went from 183. When I got to 180, 162 pounds, I was ecstatic. Matter of fact, when my son saw me, he was like, okay, Mom, you look good. What you doing? I said, I'm over there eating right. I'm exercising because it's a lot involved with it. I exercise my mind. I took my time to read the book. I didn't just
Yes.
get the book and say, "Oh, thank you, son." No, no, no. I went in here and read it. I tried a few of the recipes that was in here. No, they was not like Rich, but I did put the effort in to be able to get it. Rich, I have a question to ask you.
Yes.
um, when a person is suffering from, let's say, arthritis, we have a lot of the community that suffers with arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, just in that brand as well. Is there a certain um, uh, chemical or food or certain herbs or certain things that you can share with them that maybe would be helpful into helping, number one, to calm down that pain, that swelling, and all that other stuff that go along with it?
Um, well, to be honest with you, I'm not as well versed in arthritic healing foods. But one thing that I will say is that I've known that potassium is something that helps with cramps and helps with joints and things of that nature.
Um,
And a lot of times, what we do is we eat a lot of foods that what they call inflammatory foods. So now, what science has done, and at one point, only athletes were privy to this information, were only privy to these particular types of tests. Um, Now you can go to your doctor, and when you go there, you can get a special blood test that will give you all of the foods that cause inflammation.
oh wow.
Inflam- yes, and inflammation causes everything that's wrong in your body.
Hmm.
Inflammation causes arthritis. Inflammation is a form, well, cancer is a form of inflammation as well. What you can do is you can go to the doctor and you can get these blood tests, and the blood test will tell you exactly what foods cause the most inflammation in your body. So, say
Okay.
for instance, it goes from red, which is the things that you need to stay totally away from. Then it goes to yellow, which are the moderate things that you can eat. And then it goes to green, which are the things that you can have as much of as you want.
Okay.
Now, I remember when Dwayne was playing, he would often have joint pains and things like that. So what I would do is I would go in and I would look at these foods that I was feeding him that would cause this inflammation. And so we would um, we would have like for pregame meals, I would do pasta, and I would do pasta with these red sauces and things like that. He liked pineapple in his smoothies and things. So what I did is I took all of those pineapples out. I took the tomatoes out. I took a lot of other things out of his diet to help calm down the inflammation that was going on in his body, and it helped him to be able to perform better. He felt better in his movement. He didn't have to get as much treatment as he was getting because of these foods that I had eliminated from his diet. So I would say to start off with going to your physician and getting asking about this test that would show you how much inflammation you have in your body, and it would also tell you the foods that you need to stay away from. It's very similar to an allergy test. If you go to the doctor because you suffer from allergies, like my son, he has eczema, very, very bad, and asthma. So we've taken him to the doctor, and they tell you what you're allergic to, whether it's eggs, whether it's pork, whether it's bison or whatever. It's the
Yeah.
same exact philosophy, and they go in and they tell you these things that would help you to eliminate the inflammation in your body. So I would start off with that.
You have really, really helped us, especially me. I'm one to definitely believe in the blood test because I believe that our whole life, everything, the story about what's happening in our inner man is definitely in the blood test. But I did not know about the special blood test you can ask your doctor for. Listen, guys, somebody said that's good that you can ask your doctor for to find out exactly what inflames your body. I mean, I'm going to do that. I got an appointment in August. You think I'm not going to ask her? I really, because I'm really trying to go for my better health, better me. Well, my
Okay.
son, you did say that, Ma, I could give you 30 minutes.
Well, I
And
got a little more time. I
you
got a
got a
little
little
more.
more time. That's
I
what I'm
got a little
talking
more.
about.
Yeah, I
So
got
I
a little
pray that
more.
that information right there then help somebody to go in to find out, okay, I know I done got rid of this food, but is my body do this? What else inflames my body? What else should I steer away from? And I love how you said that in these diet life plan that you had for him, how you removed the pineapples, how you
The
moved the
inflammatory foods, yes.
inflammatory foods away from his diet. How did he take that?
Um, he took it because he didn't lose any flavor.
I love it.
For him, it's about the taste.
Mm,
Is it does it taste good? You know.
yeah.
And the thing that I did was whenever I would make any type of adjustment, I wouldn't just put something in front of him or just take something out. I would let him know, hey, listen, what we're doing now, because you're limping or because you're having these joint pains, I've decided, I did some reading and I've decided to start taking this out of your diet and move this over. But you're still going to like what you have. And so he would still like the food. And if there was something that I would prepare that he wasn't too keen on, I didn't have a problem with him letting me know, because you don't want to continue to cook the same identical thing if it's not something that your client doesn't want to eat. And then if it was something that he didn't care for, I would just come back with a new way to present it to him. And then we would work in conjunction with each other like that to get him to perform and to be the best that he could be. Now, as we were talking, because I don't like to not know, I have my computer up here, and it says here 8 foods and beverages to avoid with arthritis. One would be sugar, that we had already discussed, that we need to take sugar so much of out of our diet. And it says here that you need to make sure that you limit your sugar intake. Processed and red meats, you need to take those out of your diet if you have arthritis. Foods that contain gluten, so that would be your breads, that would be pastas, that would be, anything with flour in it, cakes, biscuits, things like that. And if you're still going to pursue those foods, you want to make sure that they're gluten free, meaning that they are made with gluten free flour. So that
Okay.
doesn't that doesn't mean that you can't have them. You just need to do a flour substitute. Remember, we talked about that earlier, not necessarily cutting a food that we like out of our diet, but what we do is we just try to we try to manipulate it so that we can have it. So the way to manipulate these cakes and these cookies and this cornbread and all of these types of things that we love to have is that instead of putting the gluten flour or the regular all-purpose flour, now we go into using gluten-free flour. And then it also says that we need to eliminate alcohol as well. Certain vegetable oils. I don't cook with vegetable oil anyways. I use grapeseed oil. I use avocado oil because avocado is a great fat for your body. And I use olive oil, extra virgin pressed olive oil as well. And then also we need to cut out foods that are high in salt.
Mm,
And those foods that are high in salt are those processed foods like our sausages, our canned vegetables, things like that. And you have to be careful with those canned vegetables because they are, even though they're in a can, they still have a lot of preservatives in those vegetables. This is why it is so important for us to eat and learn how to prepare fresh vegetables. I
mm,
was talking to somebody maybe about a month ago, and I was talking about how I didn't like broccoli growing up because God bless her, my grandmother would make broccoli and it would be olive colored and it would be mush because she would overcook it. The same
okay.
thing with spinach, it would be mush, and they would try to get me to eat it and say, oh, well, Papa eats it. He's big and strong, but I didn't care who ate it. I didn't want it because it was mush. But once I learned how to prepare it and learn that you just don't overcook it, you want to continue to have that green inside of your vegetables because that way now you're imparting all of the nutrients and the vitamins and the chlorophyll into
Mm,
your body. And chlorophyll is something that gets inside of your blood cells and it helps your blood cells, your red blood cells, take in more oxygen. The
mm,
more oxygen that you can take into those blood cells and it pumps into your heart, now you got more oxygen inside of your body, which revitalizes you and gives you more energy as well. So those are just some of the things as far as arthritis. I didn't want to leave here and me saying that I didn't know. So I wanted to look it up myself just now and take a look and see. And you all can do the same identical thing. You just look up foods to avoid when you have arthritis, and you'll have a plethora of ideas and information to come right up on your computer so that you can see it yourself.
yes, and the key to that is to put it in action, to eliminate. If it's one at a time, to just start eliminating it. Like he
Yeah.
said, be patient with yourself. But if you really want, just like I really wanted to deal with that diabetes. I really didn't want to stick myself with insulin. I just got so tired of it that no matter what had to be sacrificed, I called myself the sacrificial bunny at that particular time because God had brought a friend into my life. And this person, check your number after you eat this and there, after you eat after a certain time, the portion. I had to follow the instructions in order for me to be able to become the person that I have become today, more alert, because it just made me more alert. Whereas
Hmm.
I was fatigued all the time and my mind had a brain fog, and I'm one of them intellectual people that God uses to come and to teach and to share. And I love to read. I do a lot of reading. So that was a no to me. I felt like I was getting Alzheimer's. I felt like I was getting dementia. I just felt depressed. I felt really low until I did um, um, start eating toward the direction of better healing, and start appreciating and the broccoli, understanding that it don't supposed to be that color green. It's supposed to have the green in it. And so the person invested in me getting a steamer, and I'm able to eat the broccoli right. And now I know not to overcook, because a lot of us do. A lot of us overcook our food. And so when we do, we remove the nutrients out of them that's really supposed to be for our bodies. Thank you so much, because like I said, it's a lot of people that follow me that deals with this arthritis, and I know as we get older, we start experiencing different arthritis in our bodies, and I know this have really helped somebody. Somebody said thank you for telling the different types of cooking oils.
Oh,
They
yes.
got encouraged with that. Yes, yes.
And
Uh,
one thing also,
mhm.
we can't get too hard on ourselves, because a lot of times our eating habits are formed at an early age.
Yes.
Like I said, with my grandmother cooking, certain things the way that she did. And had I stayed with that frame of mind, I would not eat spinach to this day. I wouldn't eat Brussels sprouts. I wouldn't eat any of these things. But we have to be the ones to break this cycle,
Mm,
because what we've learned in the past, our grandparents only knew what they knew because they learned from their parents and from
mm,
their grandparents and so forth and so on. So as you learn better, you have to do better, you have to implement better. So now that we're learning to eat better, these are the things that we also have to, teach our children. And I remember Dwayne wouldn't eat vegetables at all. So
mm,
I would have to cut the vegetables up, puree them, put them inside of meatballs, put them inside of meatloaf,
mm.
put them inside of the pasta sauce, all of these things to hide them. And I wasn't hiding them like it was a trick. I would tell them they're in there, but you just don't see them. And he didn't care, because it was just as long as he didn't see them, he didn't care. But my example is this. I remember his son Zaire. I tried to get him to eat vegetables one day, and he said to me, Rich, I don't want to eat this. I don't need to eat vegetables. And I pulled his father to the side and I said, see, you can't tell him that. You can't say that you don't like vegetables in front of him, because now, without him even trying them, he doesn't like vegetables.
Okay.
So we have to make sure that we're cognizant of what we're telling our children. We have to be cognizant of the way that we're preparing our food around our children. Even with fast food, a lot of times when I was younger, fast food was a treat.
Mm.
If we did good, if we got an A on the report card or
Yes.
whatever, you know
Yes.
what, man, we would go to Burger King and my mama would say, go ahead and get your cheeseburger and get your shake or whatever. Now it's used as a substitute because we're too lazy to cook. And I'm sorry, I will say it, we're too lazy. We're too lazy to cook, you know. And so we have to be aware of the way that we're feeding our children and the way that we're feeding ourselves, because then now we're doing a generational sweep of our whole family, our future of our family, that may not even last that long because of the way food is processed now. You have so many different things that are inside of these foods that we're eating. We have to make sure that we are shopping the right way. We have to make sure that we're cooking our food the right way. We have to make sure that we're eliminating the right things from our diet. We have to make sure that we're using portion control, and that we're educating ourselves as well as our children on a better way to feed ourselves, because it is imperative to us learning. It's imperative to our living and living a healthier and more fulfilling life. So these are just some things that I think that we really need to take account of and to start to implement in order for us to live better and be better people.
Amen. I love that how he's absolutely right. My son could not stand green food. He was forced to eat it when he was young, and it definitely left a mark on him. So be
Mhm.
careful forcing your children, even though this is good for you. I love how Chef came and shared with us how we can give them the vegetables, but be able to do it in a way where it does not bother their palate as far as them eating whatever they eat, but it's in there. He said he
Mhm.
puree it, and he puree it. Did I pronounce that right? Puree it,
Puree, yes, ma'am.
puree it, and
Yes,
he
ma'am.
puts it in there. And what was the other way you said you put that vegetable in there?
We'll put it in the meat sauces, put it in meatballs. I will put it inside of like the pasta sauces. I will put it inside of meatloaf, all different types of ways. And even now, if you think about it, now they have the spiral machine where you can take the zucchini and the squash and you can spiral it, and you can take those spiral vegetables and use those as pasta. So you can actually have your meatballs with your meat sauce, right? With your sauce, and instead of using the gluten pasta, you can use the vegetable pasta for my arthritic people out there. You can use the vegetable pasta, and you can get your vegetables. You still have your meat. You still got the flavor of your sauce. You can even sprinkle a little cheese on there if you want to, and you can still have it. But again, you're just doing it in a different way that will be more beneficial for your body. So it just takes a little bit of research. The same way that you click on here to look at the latest gossip on your computer, just take a 10 minutes away from the whatever else you're looking at and just research a little bit on different ways to eat vegetables. And then you just tell them, make it to yourself. Everything isn't for everybody, but eating healthy is for everybody. So you
Uh,
just have to tell them, make it for yourself.
I love that. Everything isn't for everybody, but eating healthy is for everybody. Wow, that was powerful there. I know you guys got that. I'm being taught here as well myself. Somebody said that's right, a treat. Yes, thank you so much, son. You are really,
Yes,
really
ma'am.
blessing the people. Look like I got some people coming on today too. You just somebody said, "Praise the Lord, the Lord. This is good." I use avocado oil and grapeseed oil. Okay, somebody said,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Very
And
exciting.
then as far as talking about the oils, one of the reasons that we don't use vegetable oil because it has what we call a low burn content, which means that it burns very, very fast.
Okay.
And a lot of times when we're cooking as African Americans, we put that oil in the pan, and when we see it smoking, we don't think anything of it. We're like, oh, it's ready. We're ready to go. But
Right.
in actuality, you're not ready to go. What you should be doing is taking that and you pour that oil out and rinse that pan out. Because when that oil starts to smoke like that, now it has become rancid.
Oh,
And with it becoming rancid, now it's poisonous. It's not something that when you eat it right then, when you fry something in it or saute something in that particular pan, it's not like you eat it and then you're going to just die. You know, it's not like that at all. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying. But over time, that can cause cancer. It could cause so many different other elements inside of your body. So what I like to use, as I said, is I like to use the grapeseed oil, one, because it's flavorless and it has a high smoke content, which means that it will not burn as quickly as your regular oil will. Now, excuse me, some of us like to use butter, and I love butter as well, but only in moderation. But one way to keep your butter from burning, because we all know that you can put butter in that pan and you turn your eye and come back around and it's black in there. You know, you
right.
got to wipe it all out.
Right.
One way to make sure that you can keep that butter from burning is to add a little bit of your grapeseed oil in there with the butter, and it stretches out the cooking process. It keeps the butter from burning as quickly as it normally would because you're neutralizing it. Okay, and the olive oil. Olives are great for you. It's a great fat for you. So to use the olive oil, it only makes sense. The same identical thing with avocado oil. As you know, avocado is a great fat, and with the oil, it has a high burn content, which means that you can actually cook with it. And it's amazing in making salad dressings and things of that nature as well. So the only time that I use vegetable oil is if I'm frying something, if I'm deep frying, either vegetable oil or canola oil. I put it inside of my deep fryer and I use it for that. But other than that, I don't use vegetable oil for anything whatsoever.
Wow, that is some great information. That is good to know. I have a vegetable oil sitting on my counter right now, and it said canola and vegetable. And I thought, oh, wow, I got both of them
You thought
together.
you was doing something, didn't you?
I did, sir. Yes, I did. But I have avocado oil here,
There
and
you go.
I do deal with the olive oil. My friend taught me the importance of that as well. So I use a lot of that. Also, actually, when I fix popcorn, um, I don't do it in the microwave. I do it on top of the stove, old school way. And
Yes.
I'm trying to get away from, everything been going in the microwave because of the radiation and things. And so
Hmm.
what I do, instead of using butter on my popcorn, I use a little of my sea salt and I put some avocado oil on there as the butter, and I ruck it up in there. And I mean, it's so good. So I tried it on the grandkids this week, and I said, they said, Grandma, this is good. What type of butter is this? I said, you won't know my secret, but if they watch this, they'll be able to find out now. But I
Yeah.
learned that when I was trying to eat healthy, I wanted to get away from the butter,
Yeah.
all that butter, because that's how we was raised, really on margarine. Most of us was
Mm.
made of margarine, and then the butter. And then I was like, I learned about the oil. So I said, okay, I'm going to try it with the oil. And I tried it on Tregill and her friend, and it's actually good. So that's the only way I would eat my popcorn. And like I said, I pop it. I remember from when we were little kids, we put it all in the pan, and we put our popcorn in there and just let it go ahead and do its thing. And the show, when you go on the show, that's how they get you. You walk in there, you smell that popcorn, and they got all that butter that ain't healthy for you all
Hmm.
over there and stuff. So it don't
And the
excite me.
thing is, that's not even butter that's
That's
in
not
there.
butter.
Oh no, that's not
What
butter.
is
That's a
that?
butter. That's a butter substitute that they have in there. Butter is too expensive for them to have that machine that you press and then that oil comes down and you put it
Yeah,
all over the popcorn.
yeah.
Listen, that's thousands and thousands of dollars if they were actually using butter. That
Wow.
is a butter substitute. And I'm glad that you mentioned margarine. I early on in my career, I would tell people all the time, if you have to choose between margarine and butter, choose butter every single time. Butter is a natural product. Margarine is not. Margarine is actually a couple of molecules away from being plastic.
Whoa.
So you want to stay away from margarine at all costs. But
Wow.
I use butter. Like I said, I love it. I love the flavor of it, but I use it in moderation. And I have never heard of putting avocado oil on popcorn, but I
Mm.
love that. And I have tried to stay away from the microwave popcorn. I like to pop my popcorn on the stove as well because you have so much saturated fat and preservatives inside of that microwave popcorn to give it that butter taste, and
Mm.
it's not real butter in there either,
Wow.
because if it was, it would go rancid because you don't keep it in the refrigerator, you keep it in your cupboard. Am I right?
Correct.
And it's
Correct.
in your cupboard for 2, 3 months, depending on how fast you eat it. So you can't keep butter out for 2 or 3 months, or else it spoils and it goes rancid because it has
Correct.
milk solids in it, and and all of those different things, which will go bad. So you have to if you think deep into it, and you kind of use some common sense, once you really start thinking deep, you'll see why certain things act the way that they do when we're talking about food. It's nothing in me being a chef to know these things that makes me know so much more. It's just that some of our listeners out there, they don't cook for a living, so they don't have to necessarily think about the nuances of it. So I don't want it to come across as I know so much more than everyone else. A lot of these things are common sense, but because this isn't something that you do on a daily basis, you don't think about it like that. The same way, if I was working in some of the jobs that some other people work in, some of the things that are common sense to them would not be common sense to me because I'm not doing that every single day of my life. So this is the reason why I try to break it down like I do so that it's not as intrusive or intimidating to people. And that's the same reason why we wrote the recipes the way that we did in the book. They're very simple. The pages, each one of those pictures I took myself, to make sure that each and every recipe has a picture because if you're anything like me, I need to see something in order to make it. So each one of them has great pictures and some great information for you.
That's true. That's true.
Yes,
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, son, our time is
yes, ma'am.
coming down, and I really, really thank you for the added time you have given us. And I know my Better Health, Better Health, Better Health, Better Me community. Thanks you as well for giving us that information. I do have one more question I want to ask. It's 10:54. I remember coming to Dee's house one time, and you were fixing breakfast, and I noticed that the eggs look different. And I
Mm.
do because we always talk. That's what I love about our relationship. We always talk. And I did. I asked you, what type of eggs is those? And you said they're egg whites, Mom. So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, why is I mean, because I'm used to just putting in 6, 7 eggs and busting them from the shell, putting them in there and roll them.
Mhm.
So what is the difference? And you explained to me the value of egg whites. Could you share that with our audience?
Well, the egg whites is where the protein is in
Mm,
the eggs, and this is the reason why you have a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of athletes who eat egg whites, is because it has a very very high protein content. And when you're working out, what you're doing is you're breaking your muscles down. In order to bring those muscles back up and to make them nice and strong, you need to fortify them with protein. Now, the egg yolk is where all of the fat is. That's where most of the cholesterol is in the egg. So I would eliminate those from Dwayne's diet because I wanted to keep his cholesterol level at a certain point, and I wanted to keep his fat at a certain point as well. We wanted to keep his body fat down when he was playing. So this is the reason why I utilize those. Now, if you say, you know what, I just eating white eggs just doesn't work for me aesthetically. I need to see some yellow in there. Then, if you're doing 2 eggs, then you use one of the eggs and you take the yolk out, and then you crack another egg and you leave the yolk in. Now, you're just cutting down the amount of cholesterol and the amount of fat that you're going to actually have inside of your egg, and you're still going to get that same color, you'll still have the same flavor, but you have lessen the amount of cholesterol and fat that you'll be having until you get to the point to where you can say, I just want to eat egg whites. Now, I'm not saying that you need to just eat egg whites only, because right before we got on here, I had, I had 2 egg omelet myself, and I did not have only egg whites in it. I had my regular eggs, but I know how to do it in moderation. And again, that's what all of this life changing talk is about. It's about moderation, doing it moderately. Because when you jump straight into something sometimes and you slip and you fall, you stay down because you've gone so hard at it. If you go and you do it at a moderate pace, you slip a little bit, you get back up and you continue to go. Now you're able to get some traction and continue to move forward and do what you need to do with yourself.
amen. Amen. Thank you for that information. Like I said, I know it's yeah, people getting hard thumbs up, everything. You're going off today. So thank you so much
But
once.
that's why we're here, Mama. That's
Yes,
why we're here.
yes, sir. I thank you, son, so much. I'm
Yes,
going to
sir.
let you go about the rest of your busy day, but thank you so much for taking this time out for us.
Yes,
And
sir.
definitely, I will be talking with you again. You definitely give the fam my love. And thank you for caring. Thank you for
Yes, sir.
caring along with your, I call it a ministry. That's your ministry, helping people to be their better self and being upfront with them because he don't bite his tongue. He don't. He come and he tell you like it is, and he talk to you in that manner. So we thank God once again for my son being a part of the show today. All right, bless you. You got anything you want to say to the community before you leave?
Just be well and be healthy. Take care of each other. Be cognizant of each other, and most of all, love yourself because you can't love
Amen. And
others until you love yourself.
we can get this on still on Amazon. Eating well to
Yes,
win.
ma'am.
Eating
Eating
well
well
to
to win.
still can get this on Amazon.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
thank you, son. Love you
Thank you. I
dearly.
love you. Talk to you soon. Bye bye now.
Wow. Wasn't that an awesome, awesome program we had today? Listen, you guys go to my YouTube page, check in with Mama Wade, and you will be able to see this over again, to be able to get that information in you. Certain things you might have heard that you wasn't able to get a hold to, where you can watch it as many times as you want. Check in with Mama Wade. And while you're there, subscribe. Also, you can send me a comment, anything you'd like to share, to www.jolindawade.com. Be with me tomorrow, 10 a.m., same time. I'm bringing on a young lady who is a mother of many. And in the midst of her family, she lost her son. And I wanted to bring her on because we're talking about better health, better me. And we're talking about how we deal with the mind and how her spirit is reacting, and the body, and how does she do it? How you still be your best mom self. Her name is Versie McKinley, and we call her Boogie. So Boogie. So you come on tomorrow at 10 o'clock and meet this awesome, awesome woman who have really, really made it through. And we talk about how she's feeling that hole. Okay? All right. This is Mama Wade checking out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.